I'm Tetsuya Nakamura and CableLabs. On behalf of CableLabs and my colleague Randy Levenster, so unfortunately he is now in ONUP meeting in New Jersey. So that's why I'm presenting so what Randy and my team and our team in the CableLabs are doing in terms of the OpenStack and also OpenNFV. As Bin-Hu a little bit mentioned that in his presentation in the beginning of that session. CableLabs also fully engaged into a couple of open source community, not only OpenStack, but OpenDaylight and also OpenNFV. And personally, I'm one of the founding member of OpenNFV, and when I was in former company NTT Docomo, I now moved to CableLabs, but we are very keen to how to enhance the open source into a more carrier grade. And Beam mentioned that rather than interoperability and stability, more time to market and quick development is very important. He said, and I fully agree. However, still our member, I mean a cable operator, like a couple of MSO, is still very interested in and expecting us how open source can be more carrier grade reliability and stability as well as interoperability. How to ensure. Without any such things, it's quite a little bit difficult to do something. And so that's why, so that's why, so we are trying to do something hands-on engineering because, for example, in OpenStack is not equal, right? And because even download from a GitHub in there, any OpenStack distribution and do something. But sometimes the troubleshooting is quite difficult, and if we rely on some particular partner vendor, a supplier or distributor, they bring in the OpenStack basis solution. But each OpenStack basis, their proprietary solution is obviously 100% customized. And piece of the proprietary solution may cause the difficulty to analyze it. What's the real pain point? And what's the real difficulty for operators' point of view? So that's why we strongly believe we need to do something by ourselves. Even though CableLabs is a very small organization, just 200 people, but many of us are engineer and architect and more technical guy rather than, because CableLabs is a non-profit company, not necessary to sell anything, but we need to show something more importance evidence or validation for our member, cable operator. So that's why we are less than by ourselves. And that's one of the reasons why, because a couple of people ask why CableLabs are involved working in the open source community as well as a standard. And the reason is very simple, because we need to validate something by ourselves and show to our member. So what's the real pain point and what's the more difficulty to be carrier grade enhancement. So that's why we're gonna have our own NFV infrastructure by ourselves called the Snaps. And now, so our internal purely open source NFV infrastructure now escalated to one of the new project inside the OpenNFV called Snaps OO. Today's talk, I briefly introduce how Snaps can bring the value to the community. Not only just OpenNFV, but our main component is built by OpenDaylight and OpenStack. That's my today's talk. Here is the very brief component view in the Snaps. Given that cable industry have a very good fiber node and also HFC network, coax network in here, as well as optical and wireless. On top of the cable access network, we have built up our own NFV infrastructure, including a VoiceEdge and OpenStack, some of the component, and also VM as well as a container and SDN controller. That's mainly OpenDaylight, by the way, and also operating system and hardware capability. So everything is purely via gathering from open source, and then build up some certain a skeleton or a base set of NFV infrastructure as well as VIM. And then, so we're gonna have some trial and feasibility study on top of such a very purely open source based NFVI, and what kind of cable use case is applicable And then we can realize what's the real difficulty or technical pain point to be solved, including virtual CPU or virtual firewall or DPI, or currently we are now keen to investigate in the CMTS. CMTS is a cable modem termination system. That's a very cable-specific use cases, by the way, and that's because I came from NTT Docomo originally, so my understanding is it's a little bit different. That's CMTS looks like EPC and without any mobility management. But very similar, such a cloud system is very keen for a cable operator how it works and how it does not work. And back to the previous topic. OpenStack is not OpenStack. OpenStack, each vendors bring it OpenStack-based solution is totally different to each other. So that's why we need to ensure how to make it happen and how to make sure the holds a more transparent, consistent performance and capability and the scalability across the different heterogeneous NFV infrastructure. Even though many people say that this infrastructure is based on OpenStack, but it's not true. True means that point. And another thing is it's a little bit contradict with Vince's previous discussion. Obviously, I say it's agreed that speed and time to market is very crucial for everyone. That's one of the reasons why OPNFV was established. I also was the initial member of NFV 5 years ago when I was in NTT Docomo, and when a couple of major operators all over the world got together in Santa Clara 5 years ago and made some decision that maybe we needed to do something. And we decided to establish the NFV. That's November 2012. And the first meeting was in 2013, in January. And we started the NFV journey. Immediately, all the operators realized it would take so long time. And at the end, OTT player, our real competitor, do more go ahead. And we need to catch up as a telecom industry and the mobile industry. That's why after immediately we established the NFV, a couple of operators and the vendor community got together again. And then we started to talk about how maybe we can catch up and such a time to market speed. And that's one of the reasons why OpenNFV was established. And then after that, so a couple of other open source community like Open Source Manual or OpenOR or Ecomp came from AT&T, and now it's ONAP. And those kind of open source based carrier grade something is now happening. And even in this morning's keynote speech, many people say that automation is very crucial. And, but automation and anything, the carrier grade maintenance and operation is necessary to ensure the stability and interoperability each other. So that's why we strongly believe how to do that based on the open source and then feedback to the standard is very important. So one of the things which we must not do that is please don't focus. So it means if we focus upstream, because one of the reasons why OpenNFV was established is only because all the carrier grade requirements should be escalated to the relevant upstream. And at the end, OpenNFV should not keep our cell, OpenNFV cell, because if all the open source can be enhanced to the carrier grade, like OpenStack or OpenDaylight, it's not necessary to stay in the OpenNFV because everything, all the carrier grade gap analysis and some additional requirements to meet the carrier grade carrier service requirements, then so escalated to the upstream project. And that's the things which we really desire and prefer to do that. And still, OpenNFV community is doing that in a bunch of the function projects. Not only function project, but a couple of major projects. And now, on the other hand, to a hands-on experience and a feasibility study in our own, CableLabs, as I mentioned, so Snaps is a kind of a purely open source. There is no any customization, and everything is gathering and built up open source-based NFV infrastructure. And then now we moved to OpenNFV project. And today, I have no time to explain any testing project inside OpenNFV. But so last week, OpenNFV had a Prague Fest in Paris, in Orange hosted in the OpenNFV Prague Fest, and I was there, and bring the snaps, and talked to a couple of testing projects inside OpenNFV. Because one of the snaps' objective is to overlay and abstract the any existing OpenStack Python library. Because sometimes to reverse engineering and to figure out some of the issue tracking in the OpenStack, pure OpenStack Python library is a little bit difficult to figure out. So that's why objective of that snaps is to overlay and abstract all the such OpenStack component, and then provide with some more automated test scenario and test tools. And currently, snaps already contains more than 200 automated unit component and integration test cases, and then help to community and developer to more easy to test it. That's a piece of the automation, not automated management, but automated test tool is provided. And here is a very rough class diagram, because snaps OO mean object-oriented, because that's object-oriented view is very easy to figure out the relationship with each component. So currently, snaps OpenStack component in here, and combined with the grounds and nova and the neutron and the keystone, and that's very easy to figure out and analyze if something trouble is happening in the networking side or storage side or some security key side and so on. Maybe we need to distinguish quickly to point some of the issue point. So that's now we are doing that. And at the end, obviously, we're gonna have testing more community and escalate to the OpenStack community to bring it if we can find some bug or some possibility to escalate to the carrier grade enhancement in each component in an OpenStack. Then we can bring it such a requirements into any upstream project. Okay, and here's the last slide, and here's a landscape of the whole our company, CableLabs, NFV, and SDN spaces. As I mentioned, couple of our colleagues in the CableLabs is the initial member of ETSI NFV and also OpenNFV, and also I'm also a member of Open Daylight Advisory Group. And recently, also CableLabs joined the OSM, and yesterday I talked on behalf of OSM. And so this one is some industry engagement. On top of that, so we are hands-on experience based on the Open Daylight, OpenStack, and some contribution in the OpenNFV in the some reference platform. On top of that, so we are now aggregating more carrier grade and cable use cases to testing the VNF and any relevant network services. That's it. Thanks.